Welcome to today's webinar, Satisfying Your Flexitarians, From Plant-Based to Premium Proteins, hosted by the Association Healthcare Food Service Washington chapter. And sponsored by Performance Reps Northwest and Hormel Foods. I'm Janelle Rupp with Performance Reps Northwest, and I will be moderating the live stream event today. I'd like to go ahead and introduce our guest speakers for today. We have Chef Patrick Simon with Well Built, and we have William Turner with Hormel Foods. All right, Chef Patrick, let's talk Flexitarians and achieving patient satisfaction.
Without further ado, what really is a flexitarian? Okay, we're all getting a little bit older. We're all looking to eat a little bit more healthy. So incorporating in fresh vegetables and fruits into your diet a little bit more, but not giving up some of the protein, the beef, the pork, and chicken type items, and seafood for that matter, incorporating that into your diet. But from a patient satisfaction, looking at menus and developing those for those customers that are really a little bit more intuitive and are trying to change their diets a little bit. So looking at more of a flexitarian type menu throughout the week. So maybe 2-3 times a week, we'll have some protein items, but also incorporating in those fresh vegetables into the breakfast, lunch, and dinner type aspects. So when I'm looking at a menu, or if I'm looking at from a patient satisfaction, I'm looking to incorporate a lot more vegetables into the diets of my patients. So I hope that we'll get to a little bit more of a Q&A questions as far as going into what you're asking and want to know a little bit more about flexitarian type diets. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to William Turner from Hormel Foods, and he's going to talk a little bit about the products that I'm going to be preparing for you today. We have a great menu for you to be able to look at and be able to ask questions about as we're going through the presentation. So feel free, like Janelle said a few minutes ago, is to type in some of your questions into the chat, and we'll hopefully be able to get those answered for you before the end of the webinar. So with that, William, please.
Thank you, Chef. I want to begin by saying thank you to Performance Northwest and to AHF for this opportunity to come in and speak with you guys. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Hormel, but Hormel has been involved in healthcare since the inception. But we decided in about 2009 to take a more strategic approach that's going to allow us to identify needs in your business. And the way we did that is we came up with an acronym called MOP, which is Menu, Operations, Patient. And on the menu, we take a look at items such as your sodium level, clean ingredient statements, and product versatility. And then as far as your operation, we're looking at things like your labor. And that's become an issue right now with COVID. So everyone's trying to save money and cut labor. The last thing we look at is our patron. The patron, we're talking about the dietary awareness. So all the products we're showing today are going to meet that needs. We're going to start off with the Hormel pulled pork sliders, which is made with our pork shoulder. So when I say fire-braised pork shoulder, what I'm talking about, it's fire-seared, it's engulfed in flames, and it's sous vide to keep all the juices in. So then it's put in a bag so anyone can come in and make it. It saves on labor, saves on time. You can take that ingredient and just make it whatever you want. Today, our chef has made the barbecue pulled pork sliders.
So with that being said, you can see right here with the pulled pork, a little bit of barbecue sauce. And when I tailored the menu and I was looking at it, really looking at the patient and looking at that 4-ounce cap as far as our protein, the amount of protein that we're actually serving them per meal period. So I utilized a Combotherm C4 Combi oven to be able to prepare pretty much all of the products that we're trying today. So this is quite simply, Hormel came out with this beautiful pulled pork product that I can just very tastefully put together for a patient in a very short period of time. So with that, 3 pulled pork sliders with tater tots, approximately 3 ounces of tater tots. And there we go.
And before we have great treads here, pulled pork has about 19 grams of protein on it. It's 250 grams of sodium. So that's at 3 ounces of serving. It has all clean ingredients, all natural, no artificial fillers. It's a heat and serve item. So it's ready for your tray line and for your patient's feeding.
Oh, looks excellent, chefs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Extremely moist. Taste that. Very well done. Very simple.
Excellent. Excellent. So with that, William, why don't you talk a little bit about the next item that we're going to have, and then I'll start working through the menu and preparing it for the folks to be able to see at home and inside their offices.
Okay, well, the next item we're going to be doing is a chicken and vegetable rice bowl. So with the chicken and vegetable rice bowl, we use our Hormel fire braised chicken thigh. So again, with the Hormel fire braised chicken, we have it's engulfed in flames and sous vide to keep the juices in. It's a perfect item. It comes in 2 pieces. So it has 130 calories total and 18 grams of protein. Again, it's no artificial ingredients, minimally processed, and it's all natural and gluten-free as well. It's a fully cooked item, so you just heat and serve.
So I did some nice jasmine steamed rice here with some vegetable blend, fresh vegetables. We're doing about 3 ounces of the rice and about 3 ounces of the vegetable. And this wonderful chicken that we have here. Yep. This wonderful chicken that we have here. Let's get that right there. And then I'm just going to top it with just a few sesame seeds as a garnish. Being able to put together an easy, fresh, beautiful dish that's satisfying our flexitarian type patient. So, bon appetit.
Yes. So for Justin, when you're thinking about your healthcare customers, both your tray line and your cafeteria customers, again, this has 18 grams of protein, has 270 milligrams of sodium. So it fits the profile, and we strategically did this so that you could serve this in both parts of your operation.
As you can see today, we have a professional taste tester. That would be Greg Stouffer with Performance Reps Northwest. We're trying to get you the full 3D effect here.
Also very, very moist, delicious. Nice flavor to it. Looks like a very complex dish, but very easy to make.
Very easy to make, very healthy, but satisfying, going back to the flexitarian type diet. We don't want to give up all the time our protein, but with a Hormel type product that's already prepared, sous vide in the bag, ready to go, you can go from Combi oven all the way to plate in less than 20 minutes. So for a serving line, when you're looking at these types of things, it's going to be relatively easy for you to be able to prepare these dishes and have your staff work with them. And the consistency of the product, it's always going to be the same.
Yeah, our fire braised items fall in what we call a premium prepared protein line. So with premium prepared proteins, it's going to help you in multiple day parts. It's going to help you with that mop with your operation. It's going to save you on labor. So, you don't have a guy here sitting there making chicken. It's already prepared, and you can use it all through the day for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner.
Say, folks, how easy it is to be able to prepare a great meal quickly for your patients. So your satisfaction, and we keep hearing that word satisfaction all the time, because we really want to satisfy our patients, but also, too, we want to make sure that we're able to incorporate some great ingredients and develop some excellent menus to have throughout our weeks and months and throughout the year.
All right, Chef, so you made us a chicken vegetable rice dish bowl. In there you have some vegetables. One of the questions that just came in from our audience, can you talk about what vegetables can be used as sort of a filler so the protein portions can remain small?
Absolutely, great question. So you can add in a variety of mushrooms, which are very like umami in flavors. So you're going to get that feeling of eating of protein or meat, okay? And then adding in some fresh carrots, some peppers and onions, really developing those flavors. But for me, if you're trying to satisfy that flexitarian type diet, I still want that umami type flavor, and mushrooms have a tendency to be able to do that for those folks. So we can actually cut down to a 1.5 or 2 ounce portion of protein along with the vegetables, or take the proteins away completely and just do a very nice stir-fry rice bowl with vegetables.
That sounds great, and it fits right into that flexitarian
Absolutely.
definition, you know, and I know we talked about what a flexitarian is at the very start of the webinar, but I think, you know, just a reminder that a flexitarian's goal is to eat more nutritional food and less meat, right? And that's what you're showing us right here is how we can get the nutrition, also some protein, and keep it flexible. And
absolutely, keeping it flexible, but also utilizing tools, okay, like a Combotherm C4 Combi oven, okay, that you can not only steam in, you can bake in, you can air fry in a crisp and tasty type mode. You have the ability to be able to do a multiple of different things. So you have one piece of equipment that is going to complement, or you'll be able to replace 4 other types of pieces of equipment, like a steam or a hot holding cabinet, those types of things. So equipment is very important throughout the operation as well, too, along with some great food, you know, that's being prepared and done for you. But what we're always looking for from a chef standpoint is consistency for my patient. That's what I'm looking for.
we want that patient satisfaction, right? That's
we want
important.
that patient satisfaction. We want our scores always to be high in patient satisfaction. So yes, absolutely. So William, what's the next item that we have up here?
The next item is going to be a grilled beef flank steak fajita, right? So Hormel has an item called, it's our fire braised beef flank steak. Well, the first question I always get from people is, why would I use a raw versus a cooked flank steak? Because ours is a pre-cooked flank steak. And the reason when you do this, you don't want to look at the invoice cost. What you want to look at is the yield, the cost after cooking, and the cost of markup. And after you finish that, you will find this item fits right in for your operation. It addresses all of the questions in the MOP. It's a perfect opportunity for sodium. It's a different opportunity for your operation as far as labor, and it fits great for your patients. Your patients will definitely love it. It'll help you in your survey. This fire braised item has 18 grams of protein. Anything else?
Yeah. Go into some protein. What's the pack size on it? Well, how much does it come in? How much comes in a case?
You get two pieces.
2 pieces.
Yeah.
So 2 pieces. So about how many pounds would that be, William?
I believe it's a 10-pound case.
10-pound case. Perfect. So when we're looking at size, how much product that we have to bring in for the amount of patients that we have, and you see within a minute, I was able to prepare 3 flour tortillas, the beautiful braised beef with some sauteed peppers and onions. So that looks wonderful, but the proof's in the pudding. So our tester, Greg, today is going to be trying it out. He's really going to let us know. So I'm looking for right now in this texture. What's the texture like? Texturally, how does it taste? How's the mouth feel? And would you be satisfied as a patient, okay, if you got that when you were inside a hospital?
Well, I can tell you right now, it smells delicious. I can tell you that right now. I haven't even had a bite yet. I can tell by just putting my fork into this meat, how tender it is right there. Let me give her a bite.
This is the true test here, folks. Yeah, look at that. We got the thumbs up.
Two thumbs up. I got
Two
two thumbs.
thumbs up. So he gave us 2 thumbs up, even though he was eating with one hand.
And as we talk about patient satisfaction, this item could be used all through the day as well. Salads, fajitas, sandwiches, and as an entree. So as you can see, this is basically a fajita application, but you can use this all through the day for your menu versatility. So the next item we're going to start talking about it's called our Happy Little Plants item. So what we're finding out at Hormel is that customers are more curious about plant-based items nowadays. So we're going to start off showing you a flatbread that Patrick is going to make. It's going to have our Happy Little Plants, our plant-based pepperoni, our plant-based Italian crumble, and our plant-based chorizo.
So I just want to clarify. So we've seen some of the premium protein, actual meat products, correct? Yes. And now we're going into the plant-based, meat-free options, right?
Yes. So with the pepperoni is a soy-based product. It has none of the big 8 allergens, and you cook it from frozen, right? So it does have 9 grams of protein in it, and a little over 500 grams of sodium. But it's a great option to switch it off. I wouldn't switch it from your pepperoni, but it's a great option for those who are looking for meat-free and for those meatless Mondays.
So what about the Italian crumble here? What would you say about that one?
The Italian crumble is probably my favorite product. It's really versatile. You can use it in anything. You can use it in tacos. You can use it in all kinds of sandwiches. Again, it has none of the big 8 allergens. You cook it from frozen. It has 9 grams of protein and about 130 calories.
What's the pack size on that case,
The
Wayne?
pack case on that is 2 5-pounders.
2 5-pounders. So that's a lot of Italian crumble. You know? Now, I had the opportunity to be able to try the Happy Little Plants because I'm a happy little chef. And I had the opportunity to be able to try, all of the new Hormel Happy Little Plants product. And I got to tell you that this next one, William, was delicious. So can you talk a little bit about the chorizo and how the thought process was?
The chorizo just has a little bit of spice, but it's also a very versatile product, just like the crumble. So if you're looking for a little bit of spice, you cooked it from frozen. It's ready to eat product. Like I said, it has 9 grams of protein. It comes in a 2 5-pound pack as well. Okay,
perfect. So how's the sodium on this?
The sodium on that is about 500 milligrams.
About 500 milligrams, and is that in an ounce or is that in a pound?
That's in a serving. That's going to be in a 3-ounce serving.
That's in a 3-ounce serving. So we're all looking for that 4-ounce portion. We're all looking for to be able to give them. So now if I incorporate this in, if there's no dietary needs that we have to stay away from sodium, we might be able to give them just a touch more. But what I did is I made a cauliflower crust pizza inside our Mary Chef E2S high power classic and used some gluten-free cheese, and in 3 minutes I was able to produce from frozen a beautiful pizza like this. So I hope you folks can see this one because it is amazing.
The great thing about the Happy Little Plants items is that they're versatile. Hormel is leading it with pizza, but I know for sure that the chorizo and the Italian crumble you can use on flatbreads, on many different applications as well.
So with that being said, I incorporated the chorizo, the Italian crumble, and the pepperoni, all being the Happy Little Plants with a little bit of gluten-free and vegan cheese and a cauliflower crust. So the true test is going to be Greg trying this out, because I'll tell you, I was shocked. We made one of these earlier in the day, and it was absolutely amazing. Little spicy on the chorizo for Janelle's taste, but I enjoyed it. So with that,
before Greg tastes these, I want to clarify that our pepperoni is a soy-based, and the chorizo and the other crumble, are pea-based proteins, just so you know where the protein is.
Great, and I appreciate you sharing that, William. We're getting actually a lot of questions about what's in the products, and we'll address that here a little bit more.
yeah, perfect. So
It's like very delicious. It looks delicious.
would you, if you got that as a patient, would you be happy just aesthetically looking at it?
Yes, absolutely. It looks like a normal.
So just do a little turn so the folks at home can see it. I know sharing is caring, Greg, so we want to make sure we're turning.
That's right.
No, you're good. You're good. I had the wrong.
There you go. There you go. Look at that, Greg. We're seeing your back. Look around and say
Nope, we're
hello to
good.
the folks at home. Look at that.
There we go.
Oh,
Camera operator.
so this was done in 3 minutes in that Mary Chef oven.
3 minutes in a Mary Chef high-speed oven. So when you're looking at this and you're thinking about this, we know throughout the day and night we have patients. Sometimes the folks in the kitchen went home, the kitchen's closed. What do we do to be able to look back and say, am I going to be able to have a satisfied patient? This person maybe have been doing blood work throughout the day, was fasting, wasn't able to eat. Okay, now they're hungry, they're in their room, and if I had the Mary Chef E2S available to be able to, wait a minute, a little step to the side there a little bit, thank you. So with that being said, if this was available, okay, in a unit, okay, I could prepare, the kitchen could have ready to go for the nursing staff and aides, great meals that they could just put inside the Mary Chef, and in 3 minutes or less would be able to have a great meal, and a healthy one for that matter, for the patient, so that they're not having to just have crackers or juice or something and waiting till the morning until the staff comes back in. So the Mary Chef E2S High Power would be a great item to be able to take a look at for each one of your units.
Chef, I just want to say, as I've dug a little bit farther into it and got more of the happy little plants in there, you cannot even tell that this is a plant-based product.
Really?
Yeah. It's really
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I have to tell you, I was a little worried. You know, William had told us all how great the product was and how excellent it tasted, but you know, the proof's in the pudding, right, folks? So with that, Janelle, you said you had some questions from folks?
Yeah, we do, and I do. I tried the chorizo earlier, and I thought it was great. Yes, there's a little bit of kick to it. So if you have patients that like that spice, like a little bit of kick, that's definitely a good product. So we are speaking about the chorizo right now. Can that chorizo be used in a breakfast burrito or a paella? Is it going to hold up?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, we use it. It's designed exactly for that reason, to be used for like a breakfast type burrito or anything that you would use for lunch and for dinner. It does hold up very well.
And Chef Patrick, you know, you've worked with this product. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, how you see that working in a burrito or a paella?
Oh, absolutely. So you are able to fold into a burrito or paella, the Italian crumble, the chorizo, and if you wanted to, just doing a rough chop on the pepperoni based on flavor profile. If I'm doing a burrito or breakfast burrito type, the chorizo and the Italian crumble would work perfectly in that application. Now, if I'm looking to incorporate in any of these items, how great would it be to be able to fold that into some pasta, okay, and offer that as well, too. So I'm able to incorporate in the chorizo and the Italian crumble into that as well, too. And we're about to talk about a meatball as well, too. So there's a lot of different options, folks, especially even with the paella. The paella, I could fold all these ingredients in, and I think my patients would be very satisfied with it.
I want to say the largest takeaway is with this the premium Mary Chef right there and the premium ingredients from Hormel. You're able to get a quality pizza, premium pizza, in like 3 minutes. I mean, that's a huge takeaway.
And that's from frozen, folks. I mean, when you're looking at it, you know, so if I have some pizzas that are put inside a little freezer that we have inside each unit, I'm able to pull those items out on demand and feel comfortable to be able to get get my patients satisfied with some great food very quickly. So something to think about.
So, a lot of great products. We want to know, or the audience would like to know, do you have a plant-based bacon?
We do not. I'm sure they're thinking about it, because bacon is what Hormel does, right? So I'm thinking that's coming.
I'm waiting to be honest with you, I'm waiting for plant-based spam. But, we're not going to put any pressure on the folks at Hormel, but something to think about there, William. So when you're writing the corporate office, let them know that, we're all hoping for a plant-based spam at some point.
I will pass that along.
So, and William, I think you brought this up a couple of times, but I want to give you the chance to answer this question as well. They're asking what the plant-based items are made of, and then it sounds like they're free of the top 8 allergens. So, are all of the plant-based that we're presenting free of those
top 8 allergens? Yes. The key the protein is, I think, what they're asking for. The pepperoni is the only one with soy. The other 2 are pea protein as well. So they do have, like, the crumble toppings does have like some bell peppers and mushrooms and pea protein in it, and just spices like salt.
Okay, and it looks like you're looking at some data sheets.
Yes.
You have data sheets that supply all the nutritional information and facts.
I do.
Great.
So if anyone wants to contact me, I'll be happy to get out and get them a sample as soon as I.
Awesome. Very good. Well, hey, Chef, what's next?
Well, I want William to talk about this because I was impressed, okay? Going back and looking at, hitting that 4-ounce protein for each meal period for my patients. So this next item that William's going to talk about, and I'm going to prepare inside the Mary Chef, is a 1.5 ounce Happy Little Plant meatball. It's not vegan because it has a little bit of Romano cheese in it, but it is vegetarian. So in looking at this, I could serve 3 meatballs. It's going to give me 4.5 ounces of protein for my patient. So William, you want to talk a little bit about this while I put this in the Mary Chef?
Sure. So if you know Hormel recently purchased, not recently, last 2 years, Fontanini. So when you own a company like Fontanini, who are expert at meatballs, so the next meatball you come out with has to be equivalent. So we decided to work with a Happy Little Plants meatball, which is a 1.5 ounce, like he says, it has avocado cheese in it. It has 19 grams of protein. Now, the thing about this one is it does have allergens. This one has the milk, egg, and soy. The soy allergens, okay? So that needs to be, we need to say that ahead of time.
So what is the pack size on this one? Because it seemed like when you came in, you brought a bag in. Is that a full case or is that a half a case? Or how much is in a case?
There's 2 5-pound bags.
2 5-pound bags.
Case.
So there's a lot of product. There's a lot of meatballs that are in there. And Janelle, I don't know if we can show the folks right here. So this is actually the raw product. It's cooked. But now I'm going to pull out of the Mary Chef 3 of the Happy Little meatballs. I'm going to set those down, and if you notice, folks, we also have Mary Chef trays, that are green to signify vegan or vegetarian type dishes that are available for the Mary Chef. So a lot of our vegan and vegetarians don't like a lot of meat being touching of their other items. So with that being said, 3 1.5 ounce, and you can see there's literally no shrink on them at all.
One thing, Chef, I wanted to bring up, if you take a look at these meatballs here, they're hand formed like that, and that's on purpose. So they're not perfect. So it looks like you made them yourself in your own operation. And if you really look really closely, you can see the cheese and you can see the ingredients in it. That is something that patients like to see. They don't want to think that you just bought the meatballs from somewhere else. So this it's like a perfect meatball.
So just a couple of questions for you on this one. So there is cheese in it, so it's not vegan, right? But it fits into that flexitarian diet.
Yes.
And we have a question about turkey meatballs. So somebody that is looking for a meat-based meatball.
I would have to get back to him on that. I'm not sure that we have a turkey meatball right now, but I would have to ask him. Right.
And I would love to see one of those cut in half, just kind of see the texture.
Absolutely. So with that being said, let's try and cut one of those from a textural, I could tell you from a texture base and what they look like. Maybe we can, maybe the folks in their offices, they're looking here, maybe you could see that. So moist, not dried out. Flavor profile is fantastic. I cooked that 3 meatballs in 50 seconds from frozen in the Mary Chef. So keeping your items frozen, keeping your inventory where you're not throwing out product and having 100% yield on everything that you're buying and being able to satisfy your patients every time with products like this. Because folks, people are watching the Food Network, people are reading and going onto the internet and doing their own research. So they're looking at these products, they're wanting these products. So how fantastic would it be if you were to be able to offer some of these products on a menu, an upcoming menu that you had? So with that, please.
So also when you consider these items, a lot of customers are looking for, they're looking at the carbon footprint we're living. So that's the reason people are moving away from meat. I love meat. I'll love it for the rest of my life. But I mean, you have to understand the importance of these items to your operation. And one thing we didn't know, if you take these meatballs and you squeeze them, you can actually see cheese come up. That's how authentic the meatball is.
And while we wait for Greg to taste test these, do the meatballs have gluten in them?
The meatballs,
low sodium marinara.
They're not gluten free. We cannot say they're gluten free. So I would think.
So the meatballs are not gluten free.
Not gluten free.
Extremely moist. I can taste the cheese in there.
Yeah. Are they hot? It came out of the oven in 50 seconds from frozen.
And it's been sitting there for a minute and a half, and they're still very, very warm. They're very hot.
Still very hot.
And you're having it without any sauce on it. So.
I had one bite with the sauce. It's my second bite without, but it's got a great flavor to it.
So the versatility of these products, okay, having fire braised sous vide items, and then having these brand new items that came out. And then let me ask you, William, quick question for you. If any of the folks right now that are sitting in their offices and the wheels are turning or thinking about where they can incorporate some of these items onto their menu, is there anything that Hormel does from a marketing standpoint that could help folks, okay, let their patients know that they're buying happy little plants and great items that they're being served while they're not feeling so well in the hospital?
That's a great question. That's a good question. So what I would say is with the happy little plants, if you can dream it, if you can think it, let me know and we will make it happen. So like that's from table tents to anything that you're trying to get your people excited about plant-based options, they'll know. Because if you just say happy little plants, it's probably going to be a little confusion at first, but we definitely are going to partner with you on helping you show that you guys what you're doing, the footprint you're leaving, the quality of products that you're giving. We're going to be behind you. So marketing is available, yes.
So, please.
I was just going to say, I'm glad you guys addressed that. A question came up. Do the proteins come with marketing material? Yes, they do. Or there's marketing material available. And like you said, if you can dream it up, you guys can pretty much do it. So that's awesome. Nutritional facts. So we talked about that a little bit earlier, that you do have nutritional facts to support.
Yes.
And then the other question we have are written recipes. Do you have any suggested recipes that they can use to implement into their operation?
We do. We actually have a chef that I can just email him and say, hey, I need some pointers for pepperoni or for the meatballs, and he'll send out 10 recipes. So 10 recipes on it, and then we can get them to you. We already have some pre-done stuff.
Okay, so you have pre-done recipes, and then you also have a chef on staff that can help supply recipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just tell me what they're looking for, the type of things they're looking for, and then I can supply them.
And to that respect, Janelle, if you have these great recipes now that you got from the Hormel corporate chef, and if you decided to move forward with a Mary Chef, okay, I will help you create all of your cooking profiles to take the work away from you. So you should be concentrating on keeping your patients satisfied. Let me help you in creating cooking profiles for your Mary Chefs.
Yeah, if you reach out to me and you say, this is what's going on in my operation, I'm looking for this product was used to move and it's a little bit slow, I'm here to help with solutions. That's what my job is, to help you move on to the next step.
Absolutely. So, I mean, folks, I don't know, I wish we could have you all here to be able to try these items, but I got to tell you, I'm thoroughly impressed. So bravo to Hormel Foods, okay, for coming out with some wonderful new products that are very exciting, okay, especially when you're thinking about dietary needs for patients. And so, Janelle, do we have anything else, or from William? What do you have?
If you let me know, my name is William, just contact me, and we can come into your operations and cook some pizzas up, if you want.
Yeah, no, we have several questions and we still have some time. So I think we'll walk through some of those questions and just address any other items that might come up. So yeah, to your point, Chef Patrick, we wish everybody could be here, and we want you to know that we do have a test kitchen here in Georgetown, that you're welcome to come in and try out equipment and try out product in the equipment as well. So let's go ahead back to some of these questions. Will, for you.
Yes.
I think you talked a little bit about portion sizes and stuff like that, but can you tell me how much protein, which is really important, would be a serving size that we have in front of us?
The serving size of the meatball, there's 19.13 grams of protein.
That's a lot of protein for one meal.
And for the Italian crumble, there's 8 grams of protein per serving size.
And what's the serving size on that? 4 ounces? Is that?
Yeah, it's 4 ounces.
Okay.
So then, and then for the protein, for the heavy little plants, pepperoni is 4 grams of protein.
And that is for 3 ounce?
It's for a serving size is 100 grams.
Okay, 100 grams. Okay.
So then for the chorizo, there's 9 grams of protein, and the serving size is 56 grams.
Okay.
So there's a little more protein.
Okay.
Great. And then I don't know if we addressed this totally, but shelf life. So what does that look like with these products? Let's talk about the premium protein that we talked about in the beginning, and then the happy little plants. What's the shelf life?
Well, it is a frozen item, so the total code days is 360. I believe it's 360.
So 360 days frozen.
Frozen.
And then what happens once I slack them, thaw them, or open the bag?
Then I would say 7 to 8 days once it's been thawed.
Okay.
Yeah, so the health department, we all know, is 7 days. So from the time that you open up the bag on any of these wonderful products, is you want to be able to use it up within 7 days. But the majority of you have so many patients, okay, that's really not going to be a challenge for you. So do we have anything else, John?
Yeah, we have a couple of things. So we've talked a lot about the equipment. We've talked a lot about the products. And there's, I think several other questions that have come in more on the flexitarian diet. So I wanted to share a little bit of data on that. But, just in the whole flexitarian, the theme of flexibility, all of that. It's funny because one of our attendees asked us to slice up the meatballs and put on the pizza. So it just shows how you can use these products various ways and repurpose them for, like the after hours dining or whatnot. So we have a question here that says, are there some fish and seafood dishes you would recommend for people, perhaps children, that don't care for fish? So we're talking flexitarian again today. We've looked at a lot of protein. Chef Patrick, any suggestions for fish dishes that would be kid-friendly?
Well, I don't know, my daughter, when she was growing up, she really enjoyed fish sticks, fish nuggets, a bunch of different items. But when you're looking at those things, okay, we're looking at how they're prepared as well, too. So I'm sure, that the majority of you, if not all of you, have kind of gotten away from the fryer and kind of taken it out of your operation. So that's where you're looking at a Combi oven that has a crisp and tasty feature. So you almost like an air fryer, you're able to, without oil or grease, be able to prepare those types of items for kids. Because if the kids like and see it in a fun or friendly shape that they would understand, they'll be more apt to eat it. So I hope that answers your question.
Does that mean we're going to see dinosaur-shaped fish nuggets?
Hey, why not? Could be.
Well, and then I think, it's funny is when we talk about flexitarians, so it's really Gen Z and millennials right now that are pushing that flexitarian diet. It says about 13% are Gen Z millennials, and then 6% are your baby boomers. And then we break it down male versus female. 15% of people who are practicing the flexitarian diet are women and 6% are men. So just kind of interesting statistics there. Let's see, next question for you, Chef Patrick, jackfruit. So jackfruit's been discussed quite a bit for use as a meat substitute. And can you suggest options for using this?
Absolutely. So jackfruit, I'm glad somebody asked it, is actually my favorite fruit in the whole world. It is a delicious item. It has a little bit of sweetness in there. So depending upon the person's dietary needs, okay, and the person's ability to be able to swallow things like that. So anything from a drink, a jackfruit shake, okay, with just water and ice, nothing else, just the natural flavor of the jackfruit, to being able to saute or roast jackfruit to bring out the natural sugars and everything in the product, and then incorporating that in a salad, putting it on a sandwich, using it as a dessert type item. So the reality is with jackfruit, you have the ability to be able to have it as a beverage, as an appetizer, on a salad, incorporate it into an entree, and ultimately a wonderful dessert. So jackfruit is fantastic. It's a little difficult to peel. As long as I don't have to peel it, I'd be happy to eat it. So I hope that answered your question.
I was just going to say, so now you're telling me when I walk through the produce section and I see jackfruit, I should throw it in my cart and give it
You should throw it in your cart. You may need to have your daughter help you pick it up because they're pretty heavy. But you can get, if you go to an Asian specialty type store, you're able to get a quarter of it or a half of one, but they're pretty big in stature, but they are delicious.
That's great. I'm excited I don't know that I've ever tried jackfruit, so now it might be something that I will look at doing. William, we have a couple more questions for you. What's your most popular plant-based item?
I would say it's the Italian crumble. Chorizo is right there with it, but it's the Italian crumble right now. This one.
We'll move this one up.
Oh, you can't see it over there.
Yeah, let's move it right there. We'll slide that out of the way.
So this would be our Italian crumble.
Italian crumble, yes.
Yeah.
And next question for you about the happy plants items on the patient menus. How do they hold up under a dome? How do they do with hot food holding?
Hot food, they hold up just, well, are you talking already cooked?
Correct.
Correct, yes. So they hold up just like our traditional pepperoni or our meatballs do. The thing you want to look at is if you want to do it on a bar and you want to have like your pepperoni out, these items are frozen, so you're going to have to keep them frozen or keep them really cold on your bar before in your prep station. That would be the only thing that you want to think about.
Yeah. So what? May I help you?
Yeah.
I want to, as far as for preparation of this, because some of it has soy in it, and it may have some. They're really plant based, so there's really no binders, there's no eggs, there's no nothing in there in the product. So the suggestion is from William is keep it as frozen as possible as you can. But I think that the person that asked that question is how long will they hold up on the line? So if I have these items, let's just say I have a cauliflower crust pizza, okay, and I put these toppings on there, the happy little plants on top, and I have them under a heat lamp. What would you say, 45 minutes or an hour they probably last?
I'd say 45 minutes, then you probably need to refresh it.
So 45 minutes or so, you might want to take a look at it if you haven't served that entire pizza already.
Great, thank you for that information. So I have another question for you, and I think I'll let you both see if you can jump in here and have any feedback or input on this one. So many customers are asking for local products when they change their diet to be more plant-based. Where do you recommend we look for local, sustainable products to fit in our flexitarian menus? Any suggestions on sourcing local? I know, Chef Patrick, you're not here in the Northwest, but just, what are your suggestions, or do you have any?
So my suggestion would be, I know I live in Las Vegas, so in looking at this from up in the Northwest, there's a lot of small distributors that are out there, mom and pops that are out there that are sourced local, so you can buy local. So what I would recommend is actually seeking some of those folks out. And really, depending upon if you're going to incorporate some of those local items into a flexitarian type menu, okay, seeing if they have enough product to be able to supply you, because, you know, if you have a 400 room or a 4,000 room hospital, okay, do they have enough product to be able to supply you? But at the same respect, if you gave them enough notice, they probably would be able to have enough product for you. So I would say is buy local as much as you possibly can, and just give those folks, based on how much product you're actually looking for, give them at least a week's notice, you know, and if you're building your menus, you know, 4 to 6 weeks out, I think you can give them the notice so that they can have enough product to be able to satisfy your needs. So I hope that answered your question. William, how would you like to add to that?
Well, all of our products are appropriated from Austin, from the Midwest, so it all comes from there.
Right.
So I would have to find out what exactly local means to them, because it means different things to different folks. So before I could address that question, I would need to know a little more information.
Okay, so William's already said, and, you know, both, you know, our contact information will be available. Janelle will make that available for everyone in case you want to ask us an additional question. Maybe, you know, you want to think about it a little bit more before we jumped in here. So Janelle?
Yeah, so I have some more questions coming in. So we have a little bit more time. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a few more questions.
Absolutely.
Great. Do the Hormel premium proteins, the beef and pork products, do you know what farms they come from? Or
I do not know exactly, but that's another thing. I can get that answer really quick. Just email our brand managers and they'll get back to me.
So all that you may not know right now, but all that information is available, and kind of that tracing of everything.
Oh yeah, animal welfare is really important to Hormel, so yeah, those answers are available.
Okay, great. We talked a little bit about, you know, percentages of the demographics and who's enjoying the flexitarian diet, and I think I said 6% were baby boomers. Do you have any suggestions on how do we encourage that elderly generation or aging population, I think is probably more accurate, you know, to eat more of a flexitarian diet? Do you have any suggestions?
William, go ahead.
Well, my suggestion is that these Hormel took such time and care with these products, but I don't think you necessarily need to tell them it's plant-based. We're seeing a lot of people who are, instead of carrying a different chorizo sauce, they're getting plant-based, and they're just putting it right into their menu. And the same thing with the Italian crumble, they're just putting it right into their menu, and then it just with the application, so people don't know it's plant-based. Sometimes when you call it out and you say it's plant-based, then it separates.
Yeah, well, what's the one word that everybody sees on a menu, okay, that makes them not want to order it? Put the word healthy on it, and they won't order it.
Yes.
But if I incorporate this in, and to William's point, I totally agree. As a chef, if I'm looking at my menus and I'm going to have a breakfast burrito per se, okay, for my patients, I'm going to take the chorizo, okay, that I would typically have, that would be a pork-based product, and I would just incorporate this in. And once you taste this and you have the flavor profile, it has the flavor profile and the texture, okay, of pork chorizo. So, you know, is there a little, truth in advertising, so to speak? Yes. But the thought process for me is if I can incorporate something like this into their diet, okay, without them having to give up, because the baby boomers are really looking for the texture and the flavor. So if we can give them the texture and flavor of chorizo, how are they going to really know the difference?
Yeah.
Well, I think, there's another question, like how do we help people transition from eating so much meat to more of this flexitarian and consuming less meat? Because what the flexitarian diet is showing is that people that do have some health issues, if they incorporate that flexitarian diet, then they're seeing some benefits, right? So how do we get somebody that's used to eating so much meat, protein, to the more plant-based? And to me, it's kind of right in front of us.
Yeah.
But if you have anything you want to add to transitioning someone?
I would say that it's coming, whether they want it or not. The plant-based stuff, it's coming. So I was resistant myself at first, but just the care and the time and the flavor profile of it has really made a believer of me on plant-based items. Also, if you look at the markets, like pork, like beef's like $4 a pound now, and sausage is like $3. So this is a great time to incorporate that into your menus because the beef and pork markets are getting pretty high. So this is a good time to start using these.
Okay, so you're saying the cost of purchasing the protein or the meat is increasing. So this is a great time to maybe change out with some plant-based products.
Yeah, so the baby boomer generation, so to speak, aren't really concerned so much. I shouldn't say they are, but not as much as maybe the Gen X, the millennials, and the Gen Zs, the different generations as far as the environment is concerned. So what I would say for the baby boomer generation is I would incorporate in 2 to 3 plant type items that they didn't take away from what they normally were used to seeing with some of these happy little plants, and then incorporating them in. Still give them some of the, the beef, the chicken, and some of the pork items, a couple days a week. But for me, when you're looking at this, it's not just about eating healthy. It's not just about, looking at our different sodium contents and all the nutritionals that we're talking about. We're really talking about what Janelle, you alluded to a little bit earlier, is shrinking our carbon footprint. So it takes a long time to be able to raise one head of cattle, a lot of water, a lot of grain. So if we were able to just cut back one day a week, everybody just had more of a vegetable or vegetarian type diet, we would definitely reduce our gases that are being produced, our methane gases and things like that, in our environment. So we'd also be not just from a dietary respect, but from an environmental fact. We just had Earth Day last week. Thinking about the environment's a good thing.
Additionally, I would just try it, put on your menu one day as a special, and I would love to just get the feedback. I think once they try it and they put it in their mouth, they're going to be like, oh, that was pretty good. But it's stepping outside of yourself and just trying something different. That's the hard part.
And I think, to the sustainability side of it, so that I read that flexitarian diets actually are really good for the environment and decrease greenhouse gas emissions by 7%. So that's awesome. And then, I think, just getting there and trying it, getting over that thought process, right? And one thing I think we were all talking about yesterday is the nice part about the flexitarian diet is they're not trying to be vegetarian. They're not trying to be vegan. They want animal humanity, right? Or humane treatment, but it's more about, sustaining the environment and health benefits. So it's they're looking for more of that meat mouth feel, right?
Yeah.
For lack of a better description.
You can feel better about having a pizza.
Exactly, right? And they say, so a third of all Americans are considering themselves flexitarian. So I definitely think, to your point, William, this is coming. We're going to see more of it. It's great to see that there are some products to support the flexitarian diet. I would like to ask a question about the equipment. I think that's key, right, to bringing all these products to life. I noticed we have these under a hood right here, but we were talking yesterday about like the units and room service and being able to supply after hours meals.
Absolutely. So when we're looking at a unit, we're looking at space. We're looking at not having to put in a type 1 or a type 2 hood to be able to supply. So all of the Mary Chefs, the complete lineup, and there's 6 different models to choose from. All of them are electric. They're all UL rated ventless, so they don't require a hood. They're cool to the touch, so that even with this is at 500 degrees, I'm not burning my hand while I'm putting it on the door. And when I touch it on the side, it's completely cool to the touch. And then from a Combi type item, all of our tabletop and floor models, the large full-size models, we have 7 different sizes, 56 different models to choose from. All of the electric models are UL rated ventless. We have the certificates to go along with it, so when your fire marshals ask. But if you're looking at, to Janelle's point of looking at the units, so this, for me, the Mary Chef E2S High Power Classic, that would be the oven that I would say would be perfect, because we can have the kitchen staff prepare and have products ready to go frozen, bring them up to the units, store them in a freezer, and then as needed, okay, pull them out based on throughout the night when the kitchen's closed, but still from a guest or a patient satisfaction, you're able to give them a great meal in less than 3 minutes.
Great. It's all about the speed, the flexibility, and again, flexibility, Flexitarian. This has been a lot of good information, gentlemen. Thank you so much for all of that. Looks like we've pretty much come to the end of our questions and we're closing up on our time. So a couple of things before we say goodbye to everybody. Thank you both for all of the information and for your time. I want to thank everybody on the call for joining us today.